Welcome to the Spiritual Life Management Podcast, where we help you bring balance in your life and live to your fullest potential. With your host, Gretchen Smith. Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Life Management Podcast. This is Gretchen, and I am going solo today. No co-hosts. As a holistic life coach, it's really important to me to be committed to helping people in every aspect of their life by helping them transform their mind, their body, and their spirit. I'm really focused on ensuring that I bring you all the information and tools that you can take and have an understanding for what may be affecting you and how you can best utilize it to up-level your life. So today I'm going to talk to you about the energies in our universe and how this may be affecting you empathically. Today, I want to bring you a guide to dealing with the planetary shifts and the energy of the world and some little tips and tools that will help you deal with all of this chaos. There is a lot of shifting energy in the universe right now. Can you feel it? How is it affecting you? And how are you going to use it to your fullest? Listen in as I go over some planetary shifts and how this might be an amazing time for you to manifest your deepest, greatest desires. It may also be an ideal time for you to let go of old emotional wounds that are holding you back, or embrace and understand emotions that have suppressed our culture and others around us. But one thing is for certain, the next several weeks and perhaps months are going to be a very emotional time. Your emotional health is vital when it comes to taking on the world each day. If you are an empath, you are probably really challenged at this time. For an empath, any day can be a challenge, but we are already experiencing so much darkness bubbling up to the surface that needs to be healed, so it's heightened. So what is an empath? Are you an empath? An empath is a highly sensitive and deeply feeling individual who can also sense the emotions and energies of those around them. These individuals literally sense and feel your energy, your emotions, and thoughts. Here are a few signs that you may be an empath. Common signs are: you pick up on the vibes and energy in the room very easily when you enter. You may be easily drained and exhausted by crowds in public places. You strongly dislike or avoid conflict, negativity, and disharmony. You may be easily overwhelmed, stressed, or burnt out. You absorb other people's emotions and feelings like a sponge. You are compassionate and caring and understanding. You're naturally intuitive. You're introverted and need a lot of alone time. You tend to attract those energy vampires that just suck everything out of you. And you take on and sense other people's health issues, illnesses, or injuries. Cruelty, conflict, violence, harshness, or attacking of any kind is completely abhorrent to you. You can't bear to see other people in pain, and you naturally want to help or heal others. If you didn't know what an empath was, that's fine. It wasn't all that long ago that I didn't even know what an empath was. I'd never heard of someone being an empath. Little did I know that I was one. I can feel other people's emotions and feelings. I can easily gauge a room. And sadly, I often would take on other people's energies, emotions, pain, and so on. This can be a beautiful gift if you're helping others, but it can also be very tiring and taxing as well. As a Reiki master, I often channel energy, but it's very important that I use protection, and I'll get into this a little bit more later, to ensure that my energy is not completely drained. So perhaps you just found out that you're an empath. Welcome to the club, I say. There are many of us. But it's important to understand what we're feeling at all times, and it helps us better cope and deal with what's happening in our society. It's a very challenging time right now, and I know that I myself have been very exhausted and taxed with what's taking place and what I see play out in our society. Even if you don't think you're an empath, we are going into an extremely emotional and transformational time. It's Cancer season now, and there are so many astrological shifts taking place to up-level us. It will put us all in a position to be a bit more empathetic. Cancer season asks us to pull back the curtains and tap into our most empathetic and authentic selves. The essence of moon-ruled Cancer has everything to do with our inner foundation and emotional security. During this time, birth, rebirth, and transformation is taking place, and it feels like it's all happening at once. And on top of Cancer season being here, eclipse time is here, meaning you're being called upon to set forth in your new destiny or endeavors. Eclipses always represent a turning point where something significant occurs, and you can no longer go back to the life you had. This eclipse will tug at your emotional side, bring about your empathy, your compassion for others. And we are going through a time period where we feel like we are being told to hurry up and slow down all at once, or just deeply feel but bulldoze ahead. It's a true emotional tug-of-war during this time period. So just think about what's taking place this year. This year alone, we have 6 eclipses. Typically, on average, we have 4 eclipses every year, 2 solar and 2 lunar. So you can see that there is a lot of change taking place in our world. But solar eclipses are also friendly and energizing, and they generally open doors to you and allowing you to set forth on a new beginning. And right now is a great time to manifest. But there is so much more. There is so many other things happening with our planets right now, and it is encouraging us to review, reflect, and reconnect with others. So we also have the new moon that we're contending with that just came into play on 6/21. When it's a new moon, it's time to be calmer and more reflective. The new moon marks a new beginning. It's time to start new things or initiate projects. During this time period, sow your seeds. If you're planning for a baby, it's worth knowing that the new moon is ideal time period for conceiving a child. But it's also a good time to birth anything, like an idea, a new venture you're planning, etc. The summer solstice is also here with new energy upon us, and it may be feeling a bit like the past as we now move forward. You might find yourself feeling a bit nostalgic, emotional, missing loved ones, places, or even things. I want to give you an overview of what is happening with our planets right now as well. I talked about it being Cancer season, the new moon, we have a solar eclipse, and all of this is basically happening at the same time. But right now we also have 8 planets in retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde right now, and Mercury is in Cancer, hence areas ruled over by Cancer, like family, home, and emotions, stand to get affected a lot, and this area needs caution. Venus is in retrograde until June 25th. We have Mars in retrograde until September 9th. Jupiter is in retrograde until September 13th, and Saturn is in retrograde until September 29th. We have Uranus in retrograde until August 15th. And Neptune's in retrograde until November 29th, and Pluto is in retrograde until October 4th. So with all this taking place right now, you might seem tired, drained, emotional, out of sorts. You might lack motivation, and you're probably not centered. Know that this is all normal for the course during this time. I think it's really important to understand the overview of what is happening planetarily. It helps us embrace the why to our feelings. Know that if you are feeling emotional or low energy, it's okay. And there are some uncontrollable factors to this, such as what our planets are doing right now. So, how can you take this time to make it work in your favor? You can let go of any attachments to concrete expectations for specific outcomes. Give your intentions plenty of room to reinvent and reset how they will manifest. Do not let drama or bad behavior and injustice distract you from anchoring a new and better path for yourself. This is a highly creative time, actually, where you can easily manifest some incredible things from your imagination and positive attitude. Focus on new beginnings for yourself and the planet. The solstice is always a time of honoring change. This solstice is just before the new moon and the solar eclipse, giving an extra infusion of power. Watch any negative feelings or resentment or anger and be aware of the tendency to blame and to feel victimized. This is never a position of power. So choose to be responsible for your own life and embrace change. It's important to keep track of those goals that you have that are viable and true to your path despite what seems to be dissolving around you. The bigger picture goals are still there, biding their time to manifest potentially in a new or unexpected way. So for centuries, farmers have used the cycles of the moon to determine their best times to sow and harvest their plants. Timing is so important. The new moon energy promotes strong new beginnings and good growth. It's a potent time for stimulating new beginnings in our life. By being clear about what you'd like to harvest, and by planting our metaphorical seeds at the time, we can manifest our dreams. We reap what we sow. And it's not about making things happen. Wishing evokes surrender and does not require willpower. It is important to accept what our reality is, and then use magnetic power for receptivity to attract our desires to us. This process is heart-feeling based, and so once you've written your wishes down, check in with your intuition to assess whether it feels right to you. This is a time of great healing for all of us. This is a time of great healing, period. So find ways that allow you to align with this energy. Make sure that you're setting aside plenty of time to be introspective by journaling, meditating. Make sure that you have plenty of alone time. Perhaps take a walk in nature. Make sure that you have plenty of time to work on things that bring you joy. Maybe it's cooking, gardening, painting, etc. And be very aware of what you're bringing into your life right now. How are you fueling yourself? What are you watching on TV? What food are you putting into your body? And what type of music are you surrounding yourself with? Make sure that whatever you're surrounding yourself with, whether it be the food, the music, the TV, the people, that it's all something that will help create a higher vibration for you. Grounding is also really important right now. It helps us balance or deal with our emotions and keeps us centered and focused. So making sure that you're spending time being grounded and doing what you need to stay grounded in the world right now. You can also focus on protection right now. Ask your angels to surround yourself in the bubble of white protective healing light. Use crystals such as hematite, shungite, obsidian, black tourmaline, all as protective stones that can help you keep yourself grounded, but also protected at the same time. During this very emotional, sensitive time that we're going through, it's very important that we have really strong boundaries. So make sure that you're utilizing your strengths and setting strong boundaries to help yourself stay healthy and protective. This is a great time to be extremely self-aware. Be in tune with yourself. If you're tired, take that time that you really need to just relax and go in. Be very self-aware, again, as to what you're surrounding yourself with, what food you're putting into your body. This is a time of extreme self-care. So acknowledge what comes your way and give it to the universe. Let the universe help you and support you during this time. Right now is a great time of transformation, and new emotional energies are unfolding. We are all opening to a higher consciousness as the earth and the planets up-level us and create a higher vibrational energy. We are now connecting more empathetically than ever before. And if you are questioning any of this, just take a look as to what is playing out in our country. This is a challenging time, especially for those that are already empaths, and we all feel it. All emotions are bubbling up. But this is also such an opportunity to look at yourself and see what is in your life. What can be transformed for the better? What can be transformed in your life for the positive? This is a time that we have been given for healing. It's a time of karmic completion and a time to work on those old patterns that we have that no longer serve us and ending those cycles in our life. This is a time that we have been given by the universe, by our planetary alignment to blossom, bring in the new, evolve, love others, and truly feel all that the universe is. So if you are catching yourself feeling a little emotional, know the reasons why. Circle back to the tips and tools that I just supplied that can help you with protecting yourself, with helping you deal with your emotions and evolve. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Life Management Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps us reach more listeners. If you want to connect, please drop your comments below or visit GretchenSmithCoaching.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Gretchen Smith Coaching or Facebook at Spiritual Life Management. Additional information on this episode can be found below in the show notes.